everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing and testing out the new Fenty Beauty products. I am super excited for this makeup launch. Rihanna has been one of my favorite artists since her first song came out back when I don't even know how old I was, but again, I'm super excited. I'll start off by giving you an overview of what the products are, then we'll go into some swatches, I'll do a tutorial, and then I'll give you guys my final review. Stay tuned. So I want to start off just by telling you guys what I was able to get from Sephora. A lot of the stuff was sold out, and I went to 2 different Sephoras in Jacksonville, so don't be surprised if you go and like your foundation shade isn't there, or they don't have a lot of the highlighters or anything like that. I know the Sephora at the St. John's Town Center was specifically taking waitlist requests, I guess. So whenever they did get a product in, they would put your name on the list. So hopefully the Sephora near you is able to do the same, or you can always just go to fentybeauty.com. The first thing I was able to get was the primer. The primer retails for $32. The next thing was I found my foundation shade. I know a lot of people were having trouble finding their shade. Just not necessarily that they didn't have the color, but just that they didn't have it in stock. I am a shade 300. I'm pretty sure with fall I'll probably go lighter, but I'm not really too worried about being able to find it. The foundation retails for $34. The next thing that I was able to get was the Matchbox, what am I talking about? The Matchstick Trio, which feels like a tongue twister. Matchstick Trio. This comes with the highlight, the contour, and a shimmer stick, all in one. And the cool thing about it is that these are magnetic. So yeah, they will kind of come together to create whatever it is that you want them to create. It almost feels like a crayon, but these retail for $54. And they have different shades of like the contour and the highlight as well as the shimmer sticks individually that you can purchase. And I believe those retail for $30, but I'm not too sure. I may be wrong. I'll list the price below. The next thing that I was able to get, which I think is so adorable, is this little concealer contour brush. And the brush has like a little metal tip that allows you to kind of close the encasing, but it's essentially a concealer brush. It's very soft, helps you blend your contour and your concealer when you're applying your makeup. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get any of the foundation brushes because they were sold out, but I did get a highlighter brush. Oh, which reminds me, the concealer brush retails for $24. The highlighter brush is kind of an angled-ish brush. It's a little different than what I'm used to in terms of applying for highlighter, but it is very pretty. I like the shade, I like the color. The highlighter brush retails for $32. Next up are the highlighters. I was able to get 3. One that comes like an all encasing, which is the Trophy Wife, and then 2 of the duos, which I'll show you guys. The first one is this right here, Girl Next Door and Chic Freak. The next one is, if I can open it, this right here, Mean Money and Hustla Baby. I really do like the encasing and like just the packaging of these. It comes with a mirror, so you're able to apply these on the go if you need to. And it's also very cute little, I don't know how many sides this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Octagon? Is an octagon 8 sides? Yeah, my geometry teacher would be so proud right now. But yeah, little octagon shaped highlighter kit. And that, oh, little beauty blender. The beauty sponge retails for $16 and it's quite soft and I really like it, so. Next up, I'll be able to show you guys how I got this look. Stay tuned. You want to make sure that before you start that your face is washed and moisturized, and then you can go ahead and apply your primer. The primer feels a little thicker than most. I currently use the Smashbox Photo finish primer. But this is a little thicker in comparison. And you want to make sure that you don't have any like outlying spots or anything like that. Blend it into your face till it's all gone. Next, we're going to take Fenty Beauty foundation. Moment of truth. Now, they were out of a lot of shades, but the Sephora in town had the option to be put on a wait list in case you wanted a shade that they didn't have. So with foundation, I always kind of sprinkle it around my face, and then I go over with either a brush or a beauty blender, which today I'm going to use a beauty blender that I purchased with the Fenty Beauty products to blend it out. Let's go! One of my favorite things about foundation is how buildable it can be, and with this one it seems to be very buildable. In case you're looking for like a full coverage, or if you just want something for like daily use, you can build as you go. So that's the foundation. From what I can tell, it feels very lightweight. Pretty good coverage actually. I don't really have one that I can compare it to right now, but I'll be able to tell more as like the day goes on and I have it on for a longer period of time. Now it is supposed to be like sweat proof. Obviously I'm just putting it on, so I won't be able to give you that feedback, but that's the foundation at first glance. I like you. Next up, I'm gonna use the Trio. Now, as I mentioned before, I did get this in medium, and the medium box comes with the shades Mocha for contour, Bamboo for highlight, or Bamboo for conceal, and then Trippin' as like a highlight shimmer stick, I guess. So let's try it out.
Run, 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 everybody move, run, let me see you move, rock it to the groove, shake it till the moon becomes the sun, everybody in the club give me a run, if you ready to move, say yeah, one time for your mind, say yeah, yeah, well I'm ready for it, come let me show you, you want to groove, I'ma show you how to move, come, Mr. DJ, some funny replay, Mr. DJ, won't you turn the music up, all the girls run the dance floor, wanting some more, Mr. DJ, won't you turn the music up,
and I'm gonna use the concealer brush that came with it. We'll see how this works. Not really sure if I would personally use this brush. It almost feels a little hard to blend with it, especially like under my eyes. I'm not sure if you can see, but like there's still a lot of product. Yeah, I may resort to just using the beauty blender because it seems like it's picking up a lot of the foundation and not necessarily blending the concealer in. So I'm just gonna resort to the beauty blender. The formula for the concealer seems a little thick and a little hard to blend in. but it's still very, very light. I don't know if I would use this stick concealer as a like actual concealer. If you're trying to hide blemishes, I probably would use it more of like a highlight than anything else, but it's not that bad. This whole entire collection has a very like airbrushed feel to it, so we'll see. I'm going to try the contour next.
One by one, even 2 by 2. Everybody in the club when we rockin' when I'm through. Let the bass from the speakers run through your sneakers. Move both your feet and run to the beat. Run, 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 run. Everybody move. Run. Let me see you move. Rock it to the groove.
I'm gonna see how it works with the brush again, just to see if it works better with contour than it does with the highlight concealer. Now, I like the way that it contoured here. Let's try this.
Rock it to the groove. Shake it till the moon becomes the sun. Everybody in the club, give me a run. If you ready to move, say yeah. One time for your mind, say yeah, yeah. Well, I'm ready for it. Come, let me show you. You want to groove, I'ma show you how to move.
It's not too bad. It's blending it pretty well. I think I like this brush more with contour than I do with the highlighting part. And our face is contoured. So moving on, Rihanna's collection does not have a translucent setting powder. However, they do have a blotting powder, which I wasn't able to get. It was sold out, but I don't necessarily think that that was intended for setting powder, so feel free to use whatever setting powder you need after you apply your makeup. I usually go with the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I'm pretty sure that Rihanna might release one in the future. I don't know, I guess I can't say I'm pretty sure, but I don't know why she wouldn't. One of the things mentioned about the matchsticks and Fenty products is that it doesn't necessarily apply to just one specific area. Like, no product specifically states only used for blank. So I'm gonna take this Trip-In, I don't know if you guys can see that, matchstick, and I'm going to apply it over my lid. I'd like to see what this looks like. Probably just gonna use my hands for it. Doesn't look too bad. Next, I'm gonna take the highlighter, Killawatt highlighter, in the Girl Next Door shade, and using my Anastasia A26 brush, I'm just gonna go over it. I hope that she comes out with an eyeshadow palette soon, because I'd love to see the color range that she would go with. The highlighters that I'm using as eyeshadow right now are all like shimmery shades. There isn't a matte shade to any of them. So we're just gonna make it work. I really like these. They're very soft-toned colors, and the matchstick, even though it's meant to be, I guess, a highlighter, worked really good as eyeshadow, so it's not too bad.
cup right now. Okay, everybody get down if you feel me. Put your hands up to the ceiling. Everybody get down if you feel me. Come and put your hands up to the ceiling. Everybody get down if you feel me. Put your hands up to the ceiling. Everybody get
So next up, I'm gonna test out the highlighters. I'm gonna do that using the highlighter brush that came with it. Like I said before, it's a different shape than what I'm used to, but I'm excited to try it out. And I'm gonna start with Trophy Wife. This is a very pigmented shade. Oh wow. That is quite yellow. But the brush is perfect because it actually molds with like the highest point of the cheekbones. That is a very, very, I know it probably looks good on camera, but in person, like in the mirror, it's a very, very, very yellow. I don't know. It's a very like summer glow. Probably try it a little bit more. Just to see what it looks like. Yeah, it's a very subtle, well, not subtle. It's a very bright. Put some at the bridge of my nose. It's a very bright yellow, but it makes for like a really, really good highlight. Because you get that like, bam, glow. What I'll do is I'll usually take a little bit of like highlight and put it at like put it at my brow bone. See what that looks like with the other shades that I added. It's very boomin' is what that is. I'm a fan. I'm definitely a fan. I like it a lot actually. I'm gonna probably use Girl Next Door as a blush. So I'm just gonna take my Morphe blush brush and see what that looks like. Yeah, this one is a lot more subtle than Trophy Wife, but I am digging it. I'm digging it. Let me know what you guys think. Next up, I'm gonna test out the Fenty Beauty Fenty Glow Lip Gloss. The packaging is very cute. It's a brush style applicator. Actually smells really good. I don't know what that is, but it smells really good. Just from first impression standpoint, it's a very smooth lip gloss. It's not the kind that like makes your lips feel like they're sticking together, and it smells really good. I'm not really a huge lip gloss fan just because like my hair will get stuck in it and it's just, it's a mess. But this one is actually very smooth, very lightweight. I don't feel like I'm wearing anything, nor is it keeping me from being able to to talk or anything like that. So this is a yes for me. So now that I've wrapped up just about my whole face, I'm gonna come back and give you guys my final impressions along with what some of these items retail for. Stay tuned. So, time for my final review of all the products. I'm going to start off with the primer and foundation. The primer, as I mentioned earlier, was a little more like a lotiony primer. I am used to using the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, which is very lightweight and very smooth. This is a little different in that it feels a little bit heavier, but only time will tell in terms of how I'll feel and how it will help the foundation stick to my face. It is something that you do need to kind of rub into your face a little bit more just to get it to set in. The foundation I absolutely love. I was super happy that I was able to find my exact shade. I don't usually have that luck with a lot of other foundations. Not that my shade is very hard to find, but I always end up having to mix 1 or 2 different foundations just to be able to get the shade that I want. So as I mentioned, I use shade 300 and the cost of it isn't that bad either. It's $34 for what you get, which is a pretty big bottle. I think is a great deal. Moving on, the Matchstick Trio, can never say that right, is also really interesting. I'm a huge fan of the contour. The highlight, not so much. It just felt very like hard to put on and very hard to blend into my face using the brush as well as the sponge. The shimmer shade that I used earlier, I did like using it on my eyes. I haven't tried it on my face yet, but I think that I love how you're able to use it for different parts of your face. Not necessarily that it's just designated for cheeks, but you can also use it on your eyes or you can use it as a highlight anywhere. And these again retail for $54 and I think they're a very great investment because you get 3 for the price of what you would essentially get a contour kit for, I guess in some cases. Next up is going to be the brush. I do like this, but I liked it more for the contouring than I did for the highlighting. It blended my contour in pretty well, but when it came to like blending in my highlight under my eye, I almost felt like I had to like double dab on my face. So yeah. Moving on, the highlight brush I thought was very weird at first, but I kind of understand why they angled it the way that they did because it almost exactly aligns with like the highest point of your cheekbone. And this is, I love the shade. The bristles are very soft, and I can definitely see myself using this for other things, not just necessarily the Fenty Beauty products. I think my favorite part of this whole thing is this little sponge. It's so soft and blended in my makeup pretty well. Second to the foundation, this is probably like my favorite. Next up is going to be the Fenty Beauty Fenty Glow Lip Gloss. I love this. I've had it on for a little bit now and it feels really soft, feels very light on my skin, on my lips. The shade is very like sheer, so it's not something that you can have to worry about like getting too much color on. And last but certainly not least is the Killawatt highlighters. Now the Killawatt highlighters were a little different for me. I'm not used to getting like extra yellowy pigmented highlighters, but the Trophy Wife shade kind of grew on me as I wore it throughout. It is very, I guess it's very specific. Like I don't necessarily think that everybody's going to be a huge fan of it, but at the same time nobody's ever really a huge fan of everything that they see. So I don't have anything bad to say about it. I just don't necessarily think that everybody's just going to jump at it. On camera it looks like a very nice glow, but in person like I can look at my face and see yellow. So I'm not really sure how I will wear this on a daily or if I will just leave it for like special events. The other highlighter kits though, the other highlight palette, highlight compacts, whatever, I actually really like. They're very neutral, very subtle shades. I use this one as a blush and I did like the way that it looked with my makeup. I also used some of it as eyeshadow. So again, I love the fact that you can be very versatile with these and you don't necessarily have to limit yourself to just blush for your face, highlight for your skin, whatever it is that you need to do. And you can use them kind of interchangeably between your eyes, your face, and your body if you want to have that like body glow. But so those are my final thoughts. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, feel free to share below. Again, like I mentioned before, what works for one person is not always going to work for everybody else. So I highly encourage you to go out, go to your nearest Sephora, try out all the products, get a sample. If you don't necessarily feel confident about one thing, try and explore something else. I have always been a huge advocate of empowerment and inspiring those around you. So I'm going to sign off by encouraging all of you to empower yourself and inspire others. Till next time.